highly relevant.
So as we've said, the NGO sector going nuts, and not just them, as we'll see. Here's the Telegraph here, for example. BBC's Media Action charity received USAid funding, and so they are commenting on. In fact, the US administration was commenting, for example, on disinformation operations in Kazakhstan. This Telegraph article here, well, I'm glad they finally caught up. As usual, the mainstream media does catch up with, at some point with what the UK columns done, because, of course, we published this in 2014, this information. It should come as no surprise to anybody that BBC Media Action is funded, amongst others, by the US State Department and also the USAID. Now, this is the graph as it was, or the breakdown of their funding in 2014. That has continued on since then. But this article, as I say, written by Brian Gerish, the article was not just covering Kazakhstan, but also Kenya, Syria, Ukraine, all places that BBC Media Action were active. And this is about media development. In other words, helping build a media and influence operations in countries that might not otherwise have a pro-British or pro-Western editorial policy. Now, Elon got in on the act. So here he is saying the BBC is literally state-funded.
Kidding.
Not quite accurate, but nonetheless, BBC Media felt the need to respond, and they said a free press is essential to freedom and democracy. Well, hold on a second. What you're doing is media development. So, of course, it is essential for the pursuit of, inverted commas, freedom and democracy, in the sense that you mean it, that you are given the money to pursue these efforts in these countries. And they said 75% of countries around the world do not have a free press. Britain does not have a free press, we should note, for various reasons. BBC Media Action, they say, supports local media around the world to deliver trusted information to people most in need. And by trusted information, they mean information that is trusted by Western intelligence agencies and Western elites.
Exactly.
Right. But as I said, it doesn't end with NGOs and charities. The direct funding of mainstream media organizations through subscriptions is also coming under the magnifying glass. So here's Politico, case in point. $8 million is the number that's doing the rounds at the moment. However, according to US regime funding records, only $44,000 of that came from USAid during 2023 and 2024, that financial year, with the remaining sum coming from other federal agencies. So that's okay then, isn't it?
That's not state-funded media?
Well, precisely. So it looks like more money was also spent on Politico Pro, which is Politico's intelligence platform. And then the question has to be asked, does the US regime not have an intelligence capability of its own that it needs to be spending money? So this doesn't look like people getting subscriptions. This looks like a bung. This looks like a subsidy.
What Politico Pro was basically a dashboard of talking points for other mainstream media, people in government, people in federal departments, that everybody is singing from the same hymn sheet.
Right.
So it's kind of like doing it out in public. That's one of the geniuses, Mike, of USAID. It was just out in the open. There's a lot of merits to that. It was hiding in plain sight. The problem is too many other countries have figured out the game and they've started kicking them out, like Hungary,
right,
Egypt, Russia, and basically the list goes on. So there's fewer and fewer countries that will be able to, that USAID can operate on with these influence operations. I was in Hungary, Mike, only before the new year, and they had to, it was so bad in Hungary, they had to open an office of sovereignty protection to basically battle the likes of USAID and these NGOs that were trying to create fifth columns to overthrow Viktor Orban, basically, because he was getting too popular and his agenda was getting too popular. So they literally had to create a government department just to share information with the public about what all these NGOs like George Soros, Open Society, and everybody's up to. I mean, literally Western governments trying to topple NATO member states. Yes. I mean, that's what was happening. It's just ridiculous.
Right. And money, by the way, was also being spent on the New York Times and the Washington Post. So what about Politico's response? Well, CNN has it here with this classic headline. White House says it will cancel $8 million in Politico subscriptions after a false right-wing conspiracy theory spreads. So, so
they're admitting it.
They're admitting $8 million, but it was a conspiracy theory. But anyway, the response from Politico themselves is that The Politico has never been a beneficiary of government programs or subsidies, not 1 cent ever in 18 years. No, they just bought subscriptions instead to the tune of $8 million, and that makes it up. But anyway, we gotta end that there. We will talk more about this in extra, I'm sure. In the meantime, if you like what the UK Column does, please go to support.ukcolumn.org. There are options to help us out there. You can join as a member, you can make a donation, you can pick something up from the shop, or via clivedecarl.com. We get a small commission for anything you buy there. But please do share anything you see on the UK Column website on the various platforms. Now, another reminder of Saturday, the 5th of April, 2025, UK Column on location is going to be in Cheltenham. We will be announcing speakers for that very, very soon, and tickets will be on sale on Monday. So keep that date for your diary. And also, if you didn't see Charles's interview with Sir Julian Rose yesterday on the resistance to faceless modernity in farming and so on, do have a look on the UK Column website for that. The Public Child Protection Wales annual conference is on the 22nd of February this year. Some fantastic speakers on that. Do support Kim Isherwood in this effort if you possibly can. And also, finally, on this, the Scottish People's COVID-19 inquiry that is also taking part in on the 22nd of February 2025 in Edinburgh. If you are in that part of the world, you can support that event as well. Okay, let's come on to you, Mark, and